Hello everyone and welcome back to another League Racing video here today, and this is WOR for the Italian Grand Prix, round number 7 I believe of the season if I'm not mistaken, and we have some rain for qualifying here today. Now first of all, if you haven't seen the last episode, the Canadian Grand Prix, the last race, go check it out, link up in the top right. And if you're going to enjoy this one, leave a like and subscribe for more weekly League Racing content. I also stream these races on my Twitch, link down below, go check that one out. But yeah, before we jump into the action, let's look at the championship standings. Now, after the last race in Canada, we picked up a pretty poor result last time out. We was a bit unlucky, you know, and we had to, I think, in the end, settle for a point. But yeah, we're sitting, you know, solid mid-table right now. The reality is, you know, this is a tough league for me because there's a lot of guys in here who are esports drivers, and there's only so much I can do, especially with limited practice. So yeah, I tried to do my best. So far, my best result was Spa, the first race. Hopefully we can try and turn that around a little bit. Nonetheless though, we jump into Q1, and as I mentioned in the intro, we have some rain, and you guys know me, I like a bit of rain. That's always been a bit of a thing that I enjoy. You know, it gives me a bit of a buzz and a bit of an opportunity to try and do a bit better than maybe I would do in the dry. Full wets and pouring rain for the first part of Q1, and we've done quite a bit of running, but I won't show too much as it's going to be irrelevant because we're going to eventually switch to intermediates. You'll see here, this was my best lap on the full wet. We go P11 with a 29.7, and that would be it as we select the box this lap. So we went back to the pits, got the intermediates on, waited a little while for the track to improve, and I went out for I think a 2 or 3 lap run at the end of Q1. We've got our timings absolutely spot on here, so we're going to have time for this lap, one more, and then one more after that. You can see we go up into the top 9. Later on that lap we got pushed down to P12, and you can see cars were improving all the time here as the track is constantly getting drier. We're purple in sector 2. You can see we're up by a couple of tenths, bit of a you know, an average parabolic, but still up to the line, and we improved to the top 5, and that was a pretty decent lap as we see our 28.7, and we're going to go for one more, my last lap, and we're going to stay on board here because you're going to see everyone constantly improving because the track is getting faster. So even though we're P5 now, P7 make it, we're not safe because, you know, realistically, like I said, with track involvement, track evolution, you're always at risk. So we have to just keep pushing, and you can see here we're 2 tenths up already. This is a really good first sector here as the checkered flag drops into the 4-5 chicane, left-right flick. We're now down to P10, so we are dropping here as more people continue to improve around us through the Lesmos, trying to not run wide or invalidate. And look at this, we're 7, nearly 8 tenths up here. This is an absolute belter of a lap as we are now down to P13. So we are going to need this lap to get through here as we go down towards Ascari. So far, it's looking pretty decent. You can see we're now nearly 9 tenths up as we tip the nose in, short shift to 6th, try to be patient on the throttle, and then get the drive out of there. And we're currently P14, so we are going to be really close. One more corner to go, the parabolic up, and we're going to try and spot the braking about the 50 meters, the white line on the track. 5th gear, easy on traction here, short shifting to 6th as we're P15 right now, so we need to get this lap in to be safe. Up to the line, 1.3 seconds up, and we move into the top 2 behind Alvaro Caraton, and we will take that. An absolutely incredible lap, one that I was very happy with, and in the end we finished in P4. So it goes to show that we had to be on track until the very last second, and in the end we was only a 10th off the fastest time. So very good pace in the wet conditions and more than comfortable in those. As yeah, we're going to see a progression in the weather. We're going to gradually make our way towards dry conditions. Q2, first lap here. It's now stopped raining, so we're just running on a drying track, which isn't, you know, optimal for the Inters because normally the Inters do better, in my opinion, with a bit more rain, you know, on the heavier side of the rain. So yeah, they tend to overheat or struggle for grip. Across the line though, we set a 28.0, which is not that great. We're currently last on the intermediate. I tried, you know, going again and improving, but as you can see here, we just lock up into turn 1, run it in deep, and yeah, starting to understand and realise that the grip isn't really there on the Inters anymore. So soft tyres ready for the final runs. You can see 50 seconds to go. It's going to come down to our 1 lap shootout in this qualifying session. So yeah, all or nothing. We're going to see what we can do, and hopefully by the end of it, we can deliver and get ourselves a Q3. Last person to start the lap is going to get the big one here. As you can hear me say, the last person to get a lap in here is going to benefit from the track conditions, as the track isn't fully dry yet. So yeah, we'll try and do our best. Down towards turn 1, braking just after the 100, third gear, easy on the brakes, try to flick it left and carry some, you know, decent minimum speed out of there. On the power through turn 3, trying to keep that speed up and keeping the line nice and tight to maximise lap time. Up next, turn 4, turn 5, try and brake as late as you possibly can. I usually brake at the 100, fourth, possibly third, as we run it a little bit wide on the first apex and didn't quite catch it. Drive out of there pretty decent. Lesmo 1, tip the nose in. Don't understeer too wide, that's very easy to do, you've got to be careful with that. Lesmo 2, nose in again, back on the gas, and now open up the DRS as we end sector 2. Up next, Ascari. You want to try and again brake as late as possible. Usually 5th gear, you could also use 6th gear through here, brake just as the curve appears on the right hand side. Trying to keep it nice and tight through the right to go flat out and carry the exit speed through the left and really carry that higher top speed down towards the final corner, the Parabolica, or now the Michele Alboreto curve. Brake at the white line, 5th gear, try to get the power down as early as you can without losing the rear, and then keep a nice tight line to the right as we run up to the line. What is this going to be? P2 for now. So not too bad, but obviously more cars yet to improve, and eventually, once everyone set their lap times, we finished in P8. Not too bad. We got into Q3, I'll take that. The pace for me in the dry isn't great, so considering the weather forecast and the issues, I'll take a Q3. Realistically, that is much harder than I expected, so happy days, both cars into Q3. John Evans, my teammate for this race, as Jake Benham is unavailable once again, so yeah, there's a lot for Q2. Now we're going to jump into that final part of qualifying, and we're going to be running it in fully dry conditions. This is the end of my first push lap, which wasn't the best, I will be honest. I'm used to the wet weather, so getting back to the dry just didn't feel great overall to me, to be fair.
Track feels so weird. I don't know.
My pace is terrible. 19.6.
Was that last?
Now the first lap was quite poor. A 19.6. My personal best, I think, is like a 19.2 or something. I can't remember. This race was a couple of weeks ago now, so I apologise. But we're going to jump onto the final run then, the final lap of qualifying, and we're going to see if we can try and pull something out the bag. So, starting the lap, making sure that the exit out the final corner is on point. DRS open as we go down towards the first chicane. Spot the braking. About more or less just before the 100, I'd say, or bang on the 100, down to third, possibly second gear, which is what I use in this case to try and get some higher minimum speed through the slow section, which wasn't too bad. The exit wasn't great, but so far we're a 10th up. Keeping it tight through turn 3, as we're a 10th up in sector 1, turn 4, 5, 4th gear, possibly third again, depending on your preference. I go with third this time to carry a high minimum speed, and we don't do too badly through there, but we're not really finding enough lap time. Lesmo 1, 5th gear, a little bit wide with understeer as we struggle, and we have to get out of it completely due to understeer, otherwise we'd have invalidated. And you can see Lesmo 2 as well, pretty poor, and we've kind of lost about at least a 10th through there, maybe even a 10th and a half, as we lost all the momentum through there. Now though to Ascari, 6th gear for this one, sometimes 5th, trying to carry the speed there as we get a pretty decent run, to be fair. Good exit as well. Now as we make our way towards...
What the fuck is Tomek doing?
W lads?
Yeah. Tomek did load 8. Okay.
He did a 1 middle.
Okay.
There's a 3 going to the last, and at that point I just accepted the 3.
Yeah, okay.
That's my pace. Somehow I got Q3. Don't ask questions. And yeah, unfortunately, that was it. You can see I was quite disappointed with that one, to be fair. We finished in P9 as Ron Haar crashed out in Q3 and didn't set a lap. Overall, pace-wise, the best I would have done, considering my personal best, would have been P7. You know, the guys above are just, you know, a different level right now, cut above. You know, if they're not esports drivers, they're racing in esports challenges right now, which is ongoing, which I know they're working really hard for. So, yeah, these guys are putting in, you know, hours into the game that I can't match, just because, you know, my main thing is being a YouTuber, secondly, and then also I have my own personal life. So I struggle to really make the time like these guys do, which is, you know, their sole purpose right now and dedication is esports. So, Yeah, I'll take that. To be fair, you know, Q3 would have taken that at the start, even though it's P9 with a slow lap. That would have been fine at the start of qualifying. So let's move to the race and into the strategy. Now then, speaking of that strategy, you can see on screen, we're going to go for a soft medium for the race, no rain forecast, fully dry conditions, and fuel-wise, we're going to go for about a lap extra fuel. So let's jump into it, and let's see how the race goes. Hopefully it's a decent one, as we're in a call with John Evans, my teammate, and Ulas Ozildirim as the 5 laps are on, and we're underway here at Monza. Now, it's not one of my better starts. Usually I'm a pretty good starter, but this one wasn't really there. Luckily, we didn't lose much. We've got Ron Har behind there and a bunch of medium runners. Up the inside goes Ron Har as he tries to go down the inside. And I'm going to try on the outside and see if I can get lucky. And that's not the case.
Go, John, go.
You just hit me. What have I just... Now Tomic's out of DRS.
As John and Ulas get into it up ahead.
I hope you realise I haven't done a lap of race practice. Wait, I'll defend.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
What?
What the fuck is happening there?
I can't drive. I'm so out of it.
Oh, someone's got wing damage for that. 100%.
Of course Tomic's out of DRS. How do you do it every time? They're actually CBA.
Yeah, I am P5. Good.
Now it's all kicking off up ahead. You can see it's pretty chaotic. Monza, a very narrow track, so it's hard to really go for any big moves or make it 3 wide. Now, we cut all the way on to lap 3, and, you know, kind of nothing really happened. The race kind of settled into its rhythm. Now, the first thing we've done after 3 laps is drop the medium runners out of DRS, which is crucial because it makes the alt strap absolutely ineffective. You know, the longer the medium tyre runners stay within DRS, the more stronger their strategy is. But we've dropped them already. Now, the other issue is Ron Har ahead of us. Now, he's very, very, very fast on the straights, and there was discussions before the race about setup. I'm running, I think, 7.5 wing, which is the more common option, but there is a way of running a more aggressive setup with 5.4 wing, which makes it really fast. Ron Har must have super small wings or something. Fucking hell, he's pushing so much on the straight.
He's on like 5-4.
Wow. I can tell, he's just driving away. I'm having to use my battery to keep up. Now this is a problem because I'm decent in the corners, but I'm not making up enough in the corners. He's literally, I'm losing 2-3 tenths on the straight. It's absolutely ridiculous. Even with me having DRS, it's, you know, that powerful. I mean, I don't know, but the gap's still growing. It's 5 seconds to the medium runners. Eventually, Ron Har got past Jeffrey Ritchie, who's ahead of us now, and I managed to just hang on to the train just about, but I have used all my battery. I used all of it just trying to keep up with Ron Har because he was just pulling away so much on the straight. It was absolutely ridiculous. I was, you know, pulling back in the corners, but it's hard to make up, you know, 3 tenths, 4 tenths per lap around the corners and someone as fast as Thomas Ron Har. So, yeah, we're keeping at it, but you can see right now this is the first time I didn't have DRS, and we've got a Woodford track limit, so I desperately try to hang on to some DRS, and we're just about going to manage to hang on to Jeffrey Ritchie as we absolutely nail the Ascari chicane. So it was worth taking a warning as we do just about hang on to some DRS. We actually run a bit deep into Parabolica trying to push.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag as we're going to see Jeffrey Ritchie appear. This was the crucial point of the race. Jeffrey Ritchie spread into the pits.
You'll be on the mediums.
Now the reason for that is because we're going to now lose DRS big time.
Check on softs. I assume so.
And this is a big moment because we're not going to keep up at this stage. I've been dropped out of the train because Jeffrey pit. You pin this up, John?
I might, I don't know.
Because if not, I will.
Ulas, how was Taiwan yesterday?
It was so good, but no problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you can see how much we dropped off from the cars ahead.
What's the speed limit in the pits? Is it the slower one?
80.
Now you can see we've dropped off massively from the cars ahead. Not being in the DRS train around here is a death sentence. You're basically out of the race, basically. Should have that last lap. Fuck.
I'm not slowing down.
Oh my god.
Whoopsie!
Pit this lap, so push now.
Nice one, John. I've got to pit this lap, so.
Yeah, I mean, no, they.
Oh no, but if you're going to retire, I had to just drop back and give me a lip. Oh wait, never mind. I could feel it. My fucking rears were going.
I've just nearly crashed as well, but honest with you.
I should have pitted at lap 9. Now then, a lot has happened. Let's break it down and let's explain the thought process. So,
confirmed.
The minute
Good
Jeffrey
at the end of
Ritchie
this lap.
pit, we lost DRS on the train. Therefore, I became desperate trying to hang on, and I was pushing like a madman. I already had no battery, so I was a bit of trouble. I was going to pit lap 9, but I went against it. I was going to go lap 10, but then John ends up pitting. It was going so well. The minute I lost DRS, it was game over.
Yeah, I've crashed out.
Now, because John pit lap 10 and I was going to go for that lap, it meant I had to stay out one more, but I took a gamble,
Go
and
now.
on that end lap I just had no grip and ended up spinning. So that's kind of the breakdown. I wish I'd pit lap 9 in hindsight if I had the choice.
I probably shouldn't have sped in the pits because I am now leading, but anyway.
That was our last
We move,
stop.
we move.
No more scheduled
No, no
pit
biggie.
stops.
Ideally, obviously I know John was taking this race too seriously. He's a very, very fast driver, but I would have liked to have pit lap 10, but obviously he has first choice on track, which that's just the way it goes sometimes, not ideal. So much oversteer and understeer, what the fuck. But yeah, we get a warning for track limits. I probably got rear wing damage, but I didn't actually check because I was just out of it. But yeah, the race basically fell apart when I lost DRS. That's kind of it really, and this is why DRS trains are so important, because if you're not in them, you're in trouble. If you look at the guys in the alternate strategy before I pit, because I dropped the medium runners out of DRS range, we managed to get a gap of like 7 seconds by the time we pit, which is pretty insane, as Pedreño and Primoz Miklavčić come together at turn 1. Now, here are the all-strat runners. These are the lead guys in the all-strat, Primoz and Karaton. Now, in my head, what I wanted to do was keep up with them, pace-wise, and maybe they can drag us back into the race. But the reality was, the soft tyre was way too strong in the second half of the race for me to keep up. We've got more cars leaving the pits here as I'm trying to hang on to DRS. I'm also trying to save a bit of battery if I can, to hold on to that, to use it in crucial moments such as this one. But you'll see here, we just lose so much on traction. Eventually we dropped out of DRS range, and now Keelan Lutt has caught up to us in the McLaren, and also Jack Laverty not too far behind. We're going to just move out the way and not cost Keelan Lutt any time. Hopefully he can get into the DRS of Primoz and then reform the train a little bit, and we can just stick with these guys. And that's kind of the plan really. Stay alive, hope for a safety car, try and stay with these guys in the train, and if we do get a safety car, box will set ourselves and try and make a late charge, as we don't have a penalty yet. Lap 19, and Jack Laverty is now going to be the next one to make the move. Again, we're going to just move over and try to keep this momentum going in this train, I guess, to some extent.
Yeah, I spun. GG.
As you hear Ulas say he spun, and that was on the exit of Ascari, I believe, so he's going to be just up ahead here as we move past up into P12. So we've gained a place on Ulas there, and we're just trying to keep up with these guys on the softs, but they're just so quick. They are so quick. My pace wasn't too bad, to be fair. I was driving pretty well in the mediums at this stage of the race, but losing too much in the corners, and I'm already running a pretty high downforce setup, so I'm not really making anything on the straight. As Jack Laverty sets the new fastest lap, kind of confirming really the pace that these guys have as they're trying to catch up to everyone else on the mediums up ahead. So yeah, that was kind of the story really of the second stint, as we've already dropped out of DRS range. You can see soft guys are too fast, and me kind of admitting defeat. Lap 21, another soft runner, Leroy Brown, who is on sus. He's going to try and get past. At this stage the softs were starting to fade, so Leroy did pass, and I was able to hang on for a couple of laps, but yeah, not really much more to come from it, and that was kind of it for the race really. Just a bit of a shame. One mistake I made, which was the spin at Ascari. Other than that, it was going well, but if you lose DRS like we did, because Jeffrey pit, it's game over around here. It's just so powerful. I mean, a lot of tracks it's the same story, but this track especially, it's so powerful. And yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I don't care if Nico's pissed, he can fly north. I don't care if Nico's happy.
And there we go then, race done, and yeah, P12 in the end. 18 seconds off the lead, and I think it's worth noting, obviously I did spin myself, but if you look at Jeffrey Ritchie, who was the car who pit, that obviously dropped me out of the DRS train, he finished P6 with a 5-second time penalty, so he actually finished on track in P5 ahead of Stackelek, just behind Luke Smith and Nicholas Longue. So it just goes to show how key the DRS is. It's worth noting as well that the alt-strat runners on the soft tyre didn't catch the leaders. So again, kind of confirming that the soft medium is stronger than the medium soft around here. Even though the soft is very strong at the end, the softs are too strong at the beginning of the race to make the race happen. So yeah, kind of confirmation there. You can see with the final positions. And yeah, it could have been some decent points to be fair, but we just lacked a little bit and made one mistake, which was a spin. So yeah, we'll try again next time. But yeah, the pace wasn't too bad. Quite a few positives today from qualifying, the wet weather pace as well. I was happy with that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the race, then leave a like, subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel, guys. And like I said, I stream these races every week, so link down below, go check that one out. As always, check out 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Let's go back from me.